Hey Fish Fam. So, I was waiting for UPS for a while today, waiting for my new camera equipment to come in, and because I had nothing else to do, I loaded up one of Joey's videos, which was kind of a mistake, because going through it I came across this.
Now, a lot of people promote drip acclimation, which is tossing your fish in a bucket and slowly dripping water from the main aquarium to the bucket. This can potentially be one of the deadliest methods of doing so. After a fish has been in the water in a trapped bag like this for like 24 hours or so, a couple of things are going to happen. Not only are we dealing with the temperature, no problem, we fix that, but as the fish are in the small amount of water, they're releasing ammonia. They're creating waste within the bag. As that happens, it also drops the pH to an acidic level, below 7, which is neutral. At that point, ammonia is not deadly at an acidic level. However, the reason why the pH dropped in the first place is because of the lack of oxygen in the bag, because the fish are using it up. As soon as we open this bag, we're going to have a tremendous amount of oxygen exchange. That pH is going to shoot through the roof, and that ammonia becomes immediately deadly.
Every part of that is wrong. Every part of it. Oxygen dissolved in the water isn't going to affect the pH of your water. The carbon dioxide is, because the carbon dioxide, when it dissolves into the water, it binds with hydroxide because water is a self-ionizing liquid, and it leaves H+ behind, which acidifies the water. That's how you end up with carbonic acid. And yes, the carbon dioxide will come out of the water, and the water pH will rise slightly, but it doesn't happen instantly. The bag of fish is not a compressed gas. It's not like a bottle of soda that you open it and the carbon dioxide all rushes out. And even in a bottle of soda, it stays acidic, because it takes a long time for carbon dioxide to leach out of something. You open the bag, you test the water immediately, you test it several hours later, your pH isn't going to change. Even if it did, ammonia doesn't suddenly become toxic above a pH of 7.
Immediately deadly.
It depends on temperature, it depends on pH, it depends on salt levels. There's a lot of things that go into it, but for the ammonia that would be present in properly fasted fish that have been in a bag for a day for overnight shipping, or 2 days, your ammonia levels are not going to be
immediately deadly.
Even if you have 8.2 pH, which you shouldn't, because the pH isn't going to move. But even if you do, even if none of those other things were true, and the pH of the water was causing an issue, this stuff is super cheap, and it detoxifies the ammonia immediately. So you put a little bit of this in the bag with your fish, and you can acclimate them safely. You don't have to do drop and plop. Drop and plop is the method that fish stores and distributors use because they have to pay for employees. If they're going to try to treat sick fish and they're going to try to save everything, then it's going to end up costing them a lot more money than just doing it quickly and letting any of the sick fish die because of the stress of not acclimating them. Fish will generally survive this, but the drop and plop method is really designed to kill them if they're sick. This isn't a good method. It's not dangerous to acclimate correctly because those of us that do it correctly know what this is. We know how to detoxify ammonia. So, dumping them out quickly isn't an issue. Here's another fun little blurb that I came across in another one, because I just started rage watching.
That said, this is what I did. I first noticed the ick on February 1st. On the 2nd, I slowly started to raise the temperature. By the 5th, I had the aquarium's temperature up to 88 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the day I received my medication. Now at this point, the fish are actually void of all ick. The ick has already fell off. I'm racing against time at this point. I know I have maybe 2 or 3 days to get the medication in the aquarium and effectively treat it.
Now, I'm going to avoid the urge to be completely pedantic about all of this, because most of this video is pretty good. His information on the life cycle that goes before this is good. It's good information. He went to the trouble of hand-drawing something. That's kind of cool. But this last little bit here reveals a deep ignorance in the way that this stuff works, where he didn't bother to do proper research. He just looked at a couple forum posts and then put it in the video. 88 degrees, you don't have a couple of days to wait. 88 degrees, it cannot reinfect your fish, because at 85 degrees Fahrenheit, ick stops being able to infect fish. At 86 degrees Fahrenheit, ick stops being able to reproduce. Now, it doesn't die until 89.5, so at 88 you just have to wait it out, but there's no time limit. A lot of fish are sensitive to malachite green and formalin, so for the average person, if your fish tolerates 88 degrees, it's better to just leave them there for a couple of weeks than to risk medication, because a lot of these medications for ick are really harmful, especially if you've got Plecostomus or catfish or things like that. If you can tolerate 88 degrees, chances are they're going to tolerate 89.5. So you can crank your heater up to 90 and leave it there for 3 days, and you'll actually kill all the ick. Then you crank it back down to 86, leave it for 6 or 7 days, and you're done. So it's a 10-day treatment with no medication and no risk to your fish except for the temperature. I don't want to say he should stop trying, because it's nice that he's going out of his way to learn some new stuff. It's nice that he's trying to educate people. But it would be nice if he put a little bit more effort into it, because his explanations, they don't hold up. And it's not just him. Like, he's not at fault here. It's the places that he's going for information. He is very active on the Monster Fish forums. It's someplace that I've been around for years. He's a good guy. He always interacts with people politely, but a lot of the information that's on there that you find quickly is wrong. And this isn't because people are willfully ignorant. It's because we started keeping aquariums slightly before Pasteur really convinced us that the germ theory of disease was valid. So people started becoming amateur oceanographers, keeping aquariums in their houses in 1850, and we didn't really discover the nitrogen cycle until the 1880s. We're still learning things about it. We discovered Animox in, I think, 1992, which is something that is a primary function in the nitrogen cycle in the wild, and we just didn't know about it until my lifetime. And there's a lot of bad information that has built up because people would experiment, they would tell each other things about what they found, and over time this stuff was documented, and what worked and what didn't was kept in logs. So at the end of World War II, when we ended up with all of these free pilots, and people decided that, well, since we've got all these people that know how to fly, maybe we should start shipping in tropical fish, because we can make a killing on this. And they started publishing books with all the compiled information, and the compiled information was wrong. And this stuff has just stuck around. It's being transferred from one generation of pet store owner to the next. It's being generated, or carried forward from one generation of book writer to the next, and it's bad information. So what can we do about that? What can we do about all of the misinformation that's out there, about the fact that so much of what's out there is incomplete? I don't know if anybody's going to actually want to watch it or not, but the only thing that I can think of that's a good response to this is to try to get some of the good information out there. So I'm going to start a series on water chemistry and disease treatment as it applies to tropical fish. So I'm going to start with pH. I'm going to go through KH, ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. I'm going to go through phosphate levels and things like that, how salts interact with the fish and affect osmotic regulation. I should hopefully have the first of those videos up tomorrow. If you guys can let me know what you think as those go, I want to make sure that I'm clear in the way that I'm trying to describe this. If you guys see something that I say that is factually incorrect, call me out on it. I'll fix the video and re-upload it. I don't care if I lose the views, because there's just so much out there that isn't good that, you know, we need to start doing our part to try to get good stuff out there, because it's causing not just a lot of problems for us, it's not causing headaches for us to fish keepers, but it's causing a lot of harm to our fish, because there's just so much that's wrong. Anyways, thanks for watching, and you know, we'll have something that's a little bit less cranky probably tomorrow or Saturday. We'll see you guys then. Thanks. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. And go ahead and hit that thumbs up button.